So fertility rates have dropped to an all-time low, falling for the third year in a row. Now, the average number of children women in the UK can expect to have stands at 1.41. It's an odd way to look at it. That's the lowest as data was collected in 1938. And it's actually the same across the developed world. It's not a UK issue. 2.1 is the number needed for a population to remain stable. So why, Frankie, as the only person on the panel with any eggs left, do you think...
I'm here with all that ovaries.
How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know?
I don't know. I think, you know, obviously, other than things like infertility and things like that, I think women are just being given more options now. Like, I just think it was something we were taught when we were younger. You get married, you have kids, and I think the conversation around that has changed a lot.
Did you feel that?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I had my kids when I was 24, my first, and got married when I was 25, and I just didn't even...
That was the wrong way around.
Don't be sure. How dare you? On TV! Yes, my father did say that.
So, like, it was always going to happen. It wasn't something you were going to question, kind of thing.
No, yeah, I think I just, like, that's what you do. You know, I'd had my career at a young age and then I was going to get married and have children, and that's what I did. And I think now that I'm 36, it's funny, the conversation has just changed so much. You know, with my friends, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to get married, or actually, I'm not sure if I want any kids, or, you know, even changing your last name, people question that now. And I've got a friend that's had one baby, and that's enough for her. She's like, I'm happy with that, but I actually don't want any more. And I actually really rate her for making that decision, rather than doing what she thinks she should be doing or what society tells her to do. And I think a lot of it comes down to that, and obviously the
choices.
cost. Yeah.
Making choices.
Oh,
did you choose to have one?
I don't think you can't dictate, can you, what your body's
No, but some people do choose.
Well, I didn't
one.
choose per se. It was a surprise when I fell pregnant.
Right.
And I didn't know whether I was happy or sad to begin with, because even though I was married and I was 30, I didn't know if I didn't have that huge maternal pull to one day I'm going to be a mum. I'd never really gone down that road. So when I did realise I was going to become a mum, I just took it as, oh, my gosh, I'm getting a baby, and this is my baby. And I didn't even think about another baby or multiple babies. And I think I realised quite soon into having Noah that to be able to balance my life the way I wanted to, my career was at a point where I left Brookside, I was doing No Angels. It was a show where you had to be available every day for 3 months. And could you do that with 2 babies? Could you only do that with 1? And I found it worked very well for me to just have 1, because I could actually focus, pack lunch. I could do the things that you need to do just about well enough for 1. And I kept thinking, if I had to double this, if I had to double everything, taking them to different places, school parties, all these things, if I had to double them, I know I'd have had to make different decisions for me.
You do.
But
career and the career you love.
Yeah, saying that, I never openly went out there saying, oh, I'm only going to have 1. But I think in my head, I was like, this works. Please don't change this too much.
Well, when we had kids around about the same age. So I had Charlie, and then it was for 3 years, because Bonnie came 4 years after. Ian and I were 1. We're definitely going for 1. We're 3 of us. We're very much 1. We're 1, and you know that was it. And then something kicked in my head, and I decided no, another one. But it did change everything. I mean, I left Loose Women at that point because...
And it was a decision.
There's no way that I could have travelled up and down from Glasgow with 1 about to go to school and 1 that you were still breastfeeding. I just couldn't have done it. I don't regret it, but... If we'd only had 1, we'd have been fine.
Yeah.
We would have been fine.
You say that. Well, I've got a friend that's got 1, and one of the things she finds hardest is because she's so desperate for another one, and she finds it really hard when people say, "But you've got 1." It's like, well, if that urge is still there, it's there and it's powerful. Because I was like that with Maddie. I thought I'll just have Maddie, and then when that second urge came, it was as strong as it had been for Maddie. But I mean, a lot of people aren't having kids because of the cost, and we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? I was saying, you know, when I look back to my childhood, we were cheap.
Yeah.
You know, you got bunged a sandwich, you got thrown in the garden, a bucket, make some mud pies, and that went on until we were like 18, me and my sister. But we did do a lot of just self-play. No clubs. I mean, we went to ballet, but that was it.
No tech.
No tech, no phone, no iPads. You've got to get every kid the same thing. Yeah. You know, like... the amount of clubs that kids go to, swimming, hockey, tennis, what? Like, when my friends tell me about that, I said, what are you doing?
Double the trouble.
It must be so expensive. Then we have always had almost zero help with childcare in this country. It's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, how many people do I speak to that says, I can't afford to go back to work because actually the childcare is going to be more than
I mean, you're
than what I'm
absolutely
earning.
right, absolutely right in the childcare, but it is interesting that even in countries that we always talk about their childcare provision being really good, like Sweden, Scandinavian countries, their birth rate is going down too.
But they also have all those extra costs, the
Yes.
tech. I mean, the
Yes.
tech.
But I do
What does
think
it
it's
cost?
where women are able now to put themselves first.
Yeah.
You know, they
Without
are
being called
choosing a
selfish.
career. Yeah, not being called
Absolutely.
selfish. Or actually, I just don't want to do that. Like, we
Yeah.
can say that now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's exhausting, and every one of those little ones steals so much sleep from you that you've never, ever known. Right, okay, forever.
So this leads me to my controversial question.
Oh,
because
yes.
all three of you have two,
Uh-huh.
right? And you don't have to say who, but do you have a favourite out of the two?
Absolutely.
Does that intrigue you about people who've got
intrigues me
more than
because
one?
I've only had the one biological child to really know, yes, I can give that love. I don't know whether I could do that twice and feel the equality
Yeah.
of that. So, Kay,
I can say absolutely not. I absolutely not. And I have thought about this a lot, actually, because, like, we've all discussed this. When I was pregnant for the second time, I went through a period, and you said you did the same, you did. I'm never going to love another one as much as I love this one. Oh, this is going to be... But actually, having two children, they are so different, and they bring such different things.
The love
And so-
multiplies, it does not divide.
Yeah, there just isn't that. And I have to say, I've suddenly got mum guilt because I said I would have been OK with one. Bonnie, we wouldn't have been OK with one. I love you. Please don't think we would have been all right
My
with one.
favourite changes every day, and I do say to my kids, I do have a favourite. And they was like, Mum says, I don't think you should be saying that. I say, whoever's being nicest to me today.
that's just tactical. That's just tactical.
Today it's been a bit confusing because they're both being really lovely and helpful from home, and so I don't know which one's my
What do
favourite.
they want?
What about you, Frankie?
Mine can change in minutes.
Yeah.
There's a real line, isn't there, between love and hate, let's be honest.
I think I'll save you from yourself, Frankie, and move on.